commitment for providing the vulnerable countries with technological support, with financial support that is new and additional. Instead, what we are seeing from external side, they are increasingly offering us debts, which makes this a double jeopardy for us. On one hand, we are suffering for things that we haven't caused. Second, for the solution of those sufferings, we are being offered debt. When we talk about water security and climate change, for a country like Bangladesh, which is at the lowest end of the transboundary rivers, we are the lower riparian countries, our water problems have regional dimensions, which again has international dimensions. So the upper riparian countries are very reluctant to give us water, giving up our water. In the process, many of our rivers are getting water when we don't need them, which means the flood situation is aggravating, and we are not getting water, minimum water, when we need it, which is the winter season. Now, there are international laws on transboundary water management. There is one that was enacted by the UN, it's the 1997 Convention. It only required 36 signatures for the convention to enter into force, and it got those 36 signatures in 2024, which means 17 years after it was passed. This is because the upper African countries are very reluctant. Bangladesh has not yet signed that convention, but Bangladesh has signed another UN convention that talks about early warning, equitable sharing of shared rivers. This particular convention, UNC, was primarily enacted for the European countries, but seeing that the 1997 convention is failing to draw global support, this convention, the European one, has been made open for all countries, and many African countries have already joined it. From South Asia, Bangladesh, as a lower riparian country, has also joined it. So this will give us a platform to talk about water security. So far it concerns transboundary water resources. But what happens in Himalaya due to climate change, what happens in Gujarat due to climate change, actually impacts the other countries that are linked with the same river. So I think this region will do good if it takes river as something that will bind the nation and not something that will divide the nations. Water security is a main issue, whether it's glacial outbursts or it is flood. The nations of this region must come together and cooperate, because most of the countries of South Asia have been tagged by IPCC as countries that will soon become waterless. That's no good news for anyone. So if one country becomes water stressed, its population will, under compulsion, move beyond that country in search of water, because you can't live without water. So we need to come together as a region to find out what solutions we have around transboundary water management. At the same time, we have to promote agriculture, promote water consumption in a way that will teach us to save water, and to be ethical in water usage. We have talked about rainwater harvesting. I must share with you a good news that this time the government of Bangladesh is planning to have a rainwater harvesting project with its own money. So communities already have it, but in a scattered manner. But we are trying to do it at a government level. This will be something off scale, and which will be helping the coastal communities. The government is also trying to deal with the national level menaces that we have created. We are having conversation with World Bank to see whether they can support us in saving the 4 major rivers of Dhaka and 20 canals of the capital. If we become successful in that, that will actually be replicated elsewhere. We are an interim government, we have very little time in hand, so we have already got small projects approved from the Planning Commission to save 5 rivers in 5 different divisions. We are planning to get 3 more projects approved by the Planning Commission for the other 3 divisions. So if we can get these things done, we can rely on the communities for efforts like rainwater harvesting and desalination. I think we will at least be able to adapt better. And I must also share with you the fact that in the coastal communities, women have come forward to introduce small-scale desalination schemes with a low cost. And they will be the managers of those desalination plants, which are very small in size and volume, but they will be serving the purpose of the immediate neighborhood. So there are good news, there are bad news. Of course, we have to adapt. Tell you, there is limit to our adaptation capacity. Even if we have paid all the money that the UN agencies have calculated needed for a country like Bangladesh, if mitigation is not done properly, mitigation is not done aggressively, mitigation is not done in a time-bound fashion, then even with all the money we will not be able to adapt. Security will remain a major issue. It will not be security, water security, it will be security in all other respects. If due to climate change, a substantial part of Bangladesh is inundated by coastal water, and we have to redraw the map of Bangladesh, and if Maldives has to disappear from this globe, how much money we think is going to compensate? So we better bring changes in our development parameters, in our development paradigm, and in our consumption pattern. Only then we'll be able to ensure water security, and we'll be able to promote climate justice. To me, it's not only security, it's all about water justice. So I thank all the participants from the different countries who have either joined online or who have participated in person, and all the guest speakers who are present. Thank you very much from my side, and apologies once again for not being able to join in person. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring and powerful address. We know you have extensive on-field experience regarding our conference of interest, and I believe you will love the abstract we will have sent over to you.
Now we have a participant among us who is another personality of his own. So I'd like to invite Steve Myron, the visiting fellow of the Refugee Law Initiative, School of Advanced Study, University of London, Joint Editor-in-Chief, researching internal displacement. His academic leadership is instrumental in driving interdisciplinary research that connects environmental mobility, disaster displacement, and climate change adaptation. It is an honor to have you today. We'd like to request you on stage. Thank you.